By the way, real quick, I just realized what you probably thought I meant by cold opening, and that is absolutely 100% not what I meant. I was talking about the actual cold open of the show. That would be something.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, presented by CinemaSins.
Welcome to Behind the Sins, a weekly look at everything going on inside the world of CinemaSins. I'm Aaron Dicer, and I'm joined as always by Jonathan Watkins.
Hello, hello.
And Danae Hughes.
Hey, guys.
We write for CinemaSins and TV Sins and do various other things inside the CinemaSins universe as well. Like, for instance, live stream podcast recording. What is going on?
I really thought about not being here when it started because that just would have been hilarious. Like, you guys come on, like, oh no. And then I just walk in with, you know.
Listen, this is going to be different than most podcasts that you hear in the feed because this is our SinWeek live show. So there is chat going on. There are many people hanging out with us, which I love to see. So, you know, hey, howdy, hey, I guess, to Apathy Nihilist, W. Fendrick, CC Hernandez, DQ Louise, and Jeffrey Michael Widman. Just a whole bunch of people hanging out in the chat doing some fun stuff. So,
including what I was distracted by, which was someone saying that they were excited to see Jonathan's forehead specifically. That's when I lost it.
Yeah.
I think
I have a nice forehead.
Yeah.
You know.
I think my puppy cam is making an echo.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of feedback.
Can I show the puppy cam, though?
No,
Come
sure,
on.
go ahead.
I love that I have...
In general, Danae, this is, you know...
Okay, I'm ready!
why we do, technically... Oh, look, there's the puppy cam!
Aren't they so cute?
I love that I have the YouTube feed going on over here and it's delayed. So, like, I'm very distracted by my future or my past things I'm doing.
Hello. I get it. Okay.
So anyhow, we appreciate all of our amazing Sin Club members who get to participate in this live. Thank you for hanging out with us and being with us as we record this week's podcast. We will go through the regular BTS stuff in the podcast, but we'll also be throwing up your occasional comments as well. Danae, you're showing things to the video people that they can already see in the background of your video. So,
well, what about this then?
this is the moment during the recording where we just let Danae be Danae.
Oh.
And then...
Barrett also informed me I have a 5 head. Thank you.
Nice. Got the whole 4 and 5 head going on. So yes, we'll just let Danae... This is like, you know how little kids, like you just let them wear themselves out sometimes? This is just what you do with Danae when she's distracted. Oh, or I could do this. I could also do that. I could also be dad. And,
that's how you kill it right there.
What'd you do? I didn't even see.
I just took it out of the show. So
You know that you can actually ban my phone from the studio forever?
Really?
Don't
Interesting. Where is that?
I don't know. It's just something that maybe could be there, but you don't have to find it.
Yes.
That is a very large mug.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this was my present from my mom.
Oh, nice.
It's called a tankard. Look how big. It's so big my face fits in the Look at it.
To the podcast audience, Danae is drinking out of a giant coffee mug that has a 20-side die on the side of it. There.
It's 32 ounces. Oh, I'm also wearing the BTS shirt today, guys.
The Go Live Life and Do Stuff shirt represents.
I'm wearing a plain, I think it's blue shirt. It's very nice.
Laura in the chat assures me that banning puppy cam would not be a popular move. So I, if nothing else, want to maintain my popularity. So I will continue to do that. How are you guys feeling about this? Danae, how are you feeling? You feeling like this is going to be okay? You know, just like hanging out in the chat and doing this thing. I mean, you're used to kind of doing 4 things while we record. So
I want to do this every week. So I'm really excited because, you know, we've done this before at SinWeek, but we were all in a panel format with a live, you know, audience, which is very different than just trying to figure out a way for us to actually record like to a live audience. So we've been experimenting with a comment section going live and now to do our entire show live. I am excited, but it is really hard for me not to be in the chat right now.
No, totally. I totally get it.
Like,
that is the
really
balance,
hard.
right? Like it's this weird thing of there are so many of our amazing, awesome fans and friends hanging out with us, and we want to be part of that. But we also know that part of our responsibility is to kind of bring content, right?
We got to actually talk about the show.
Actually do a show. And so like balancing that throughout. I did just change something on the visual side of things that I think will... Yeah, it'll move our videos up when the comments go up there, so we won't cover Jonathan's face with comments as well as his microphone.
But that actually works, right? Because it's kind of like he was already pretty much covered anyway.
Do you want me to turn it back so that the comments?
No one needs to see me. I'm
cover Jonathan as well.
You guys are prettier.
Nah, don't sell yourself short, man. Don't do that,
dude. You're gonna make Aaron go off on a tangent.
Yeah, it's gonna
about
happen.
How appearances...
Oh no. I'm hot as fuck.
All right, there we go.
You guys are
there we go.
You two are just a little hotter. That's all.
Got
I'm saying.
it. Just slightly. Okay, I'll take it.
Here, I'll do it. I'll fix it.
Oh, there you go. Danae's doing the thing.
Guys, I should never be given buttons.
So is this where you want it, Danae? Is this where you want the videos? Danae has moved the videos around. Is this where you want it? Okay, we're back to where we started. You guys ready to get into the show?
Yep.
Or did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I will tell you if you are watching live, we will for our comment section actually be specifically going to your questions. Now, for me, I will probably lean towards questions that are about the content we're talking about. For Danae, probably not. She'll just pick whatever question she wants to answer. Not sure what Jonathan will do, but
I'm not good at multitasking. Will the questions come at that time or during the show? Am I supposed to be looking over here?
No, it'll be
Jonathan,
during that time.
you are not allowed to look over there.
Well, I have to look at my notes.
No, you can't look that direction the entire show.
Guys, SinWeek has started. How fun is this? Oh, this is great. We are kicking off SinWeek, third annual.
Move my notes over here.
SinWeek 21.
We should just pause the show so that we can handwrite all of our notes.
I guess it's also worth mentioning that a lot of what you see or hear live here may not actually be in the final podcast. Like I sometimes I'll edit stuff out for how it flows and all that kind of stuff. So you kind of get the full behind the scenes experience. Whether you're
somebody just asked if you could put comments on my forehead.
No, I don't think not yet. Technology hasn't arrived for that. All right, let's move into it. Let's do the SinSide Scoop.
What's he building in there?
I've got a secret. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
This is a true story.
We're going to take a look at the videos from the week, the process of sending them, how we felt about the stuff we were sending in general. Let's get into it with commercial sins. Domino's contactless delivery. This was a Scott script, Jeremy writing on this one. What do you guys think about Domino's? You guys Domino's people, Little Caesars people? What do you do for cheap pizza?
Domino's is fine.
How dare you? It's not cheap. It's gourmet.
It's not cheap.
I mean, there's a whole sin in it about being cheap. That's why I brought it up. But yeah.
Oh yeah, no, but we don't. I don't live anywhere. I don't live somewhere where I have one that delivers. Although it was just announced that one was being built close by. So I guess maybe I'll partake in some Domino's again in the future. I haven't had it in a long time, but no, it's fine. Domino's, Papa John's, Little Caesars, all that just kind of runs together for me. Sorry if I offended anybody with that comment.
No, I'm sure you did.
I would throw Jets in that mix too. So,
Danae, what do you guys do for pizza?
Whatever we want. We go from frozen to more expensive to like mom and pop shop pizzas to delivery. We have no preferences when it comes to pizza. I mean, we have preferences for topping.
Well, sure.
That.
I was out on Domino's until they changed the recipe, and I love their crust so much now that we tend to go Domino's when we can. I've actually started doing their pasta bowls instead of their pizza because you can get it in a bread bowl, and it's just like carb overload amazingness. Pasta in a bread bowl. So yeah. So we do often go Domino's. Now, I shouldn't say that considering all of my children work at Little Caesars. So
they do.
Support your local Little Caesars. Just throw that out there as well.
I will say we lived out kind of in the far away from the city for a while, and there was no we had to go to Pizza Hut, I think, regularly instead of Domino's. So when we came back,
That's another one you throw in that mix.
Yeah.
when we came into the bigger city area, my husband was like, I cannot wait to have Domino's. So we do order Domino's a lot because he's been waiting for like 6 years for Domino's.
I feel like that had to be a little disappointing though, right? Like when he took that first bite after 6 years, he's like, oh, wait, never mind. This is Domino's.
I think compared to the stuff we were having, it's a step up.
Yeah.
But I like emos. Scott in the chat mentioned, yes, we do have emos. They are one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
And I've had really expensive
have
pizza
that.
too. I've had the pizza where it's like $50 for like a medium pizza and it's 4 inches thick. I don't know that was so much of a jump up for me, but anyway.
We've got a.
I'll eat pizza.
Yeah.
Like if it's
that's
pizza
good.
and it's in front of me, so I'm sadly not
Okay.
super picky.
Quick question. What is a cardinal sin for you for pizza? Now, I'm not talking, you can talk about toppings if you want to. I'm going to skip over toppings. I hate it when it's soggy. You know how sometimes like you go and they'll put them in the pizza oven and then it comes out and it's like the bottom is just not crisp. I like crisp.
Yeah.
I prefer not like, it doesn't have to be cracker crisp, but it needs to be something that holds its form. So when I hold on to it, if it just droops over, I hate that.
That's New York
Ugh.
style. That New York style is you have to fold it to keep it in place. Like we have a New York style place locally that costs a little bit extra called Rocco's. I don't know if that's a chain or not, but
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
There's
I know.
this local place.
It's
and
a New York
everyone's
style
like,
pizza.
Rocco's.
Right.
And I'm like, bake your pizza. Put it.
Well, and that's like, I
Bake
mean, yeah, I don't know that there's anything like, I mean, toppings wise, I just don't eat onions. But other than that, I'll eat anything. I'll eat pineapple, chicken, whatever. I don't care. Style, I don't really have a preference, but I do know people like that. I've heard people say they don't like Chicago deep dish because they feel like it's almost like a stew or something. Like it's so thick, like that's almost too
right,
thick.
yeah.
But I like it all, man. I don't know. I just like pizza.
I disagree completely with Danae about New York style. I love New York style pizza.
Yeah,
I
I do
love
too.
Rocco's. You've got two hands. You can use them both.
I like pizza by the slice, which is not as easy to find
Sure,
these days.
sure.
Gas stations.
But my favorite,
Yummy.
my favorite specialty pizza is Chicago style deep dish. I love the cheese. My favorite chain.
I like the bread.
Yes,
Because it's so much bread.
My favorite chain is Hungry Howie's. I love Hungry Howie's pizza. They do not have them here. It makes me very sad. But
We have them. We have one here by me.
Nice.
I do like Hungry Howie's. I like the flavorful
Can we
crust.
stop now?
that is some
I shouldn't have done
pizza.
this, guys. I'm so hungry and we've got a long ways to go. This was a bad idea.
I also like. I know this is gross to a lot of people. I like dessert pizza, like the apple pizza. Like you get like Gaddy's or I guess CC's with Gaddy's. I don't know if Gaddy's exists
I don't think it
anymore,
does.
but CC's.
yeah, no, I like that stuff too. I scarfed a couple pieces of leftover lasagna so I wouldn't have that problem during this recording, Danae. So just plan ahead. Just plan
hey,
ahead.
everyone, if you have a list going of all the ways that Aaron is more prepared than I am, go ahead and add that one to it. Maybe we'll
that's
have
a common
bingo.
list people keep, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For
Preparation
this
list?
show, it's
absolutely.
like a BTS bingo.
It's a part of the drinking
BTS
game.
bingo. Oh my God, we should make a BTS bingo.
We already have the drinking game.
Yeah, right
have
after
the
we
drinking
finally
game.
make our CW bingo.
Yeah, CW. Yeah. So it's going to be what? Someone says fascinating. Okay. We're making a bingo card.
All right,
I'm also supposed to make a puppet quickly. I don't know if I can do that, but I will try. I do want to say before we go on to the brief sins that Jeremy did weigh in on this script, and he said, and I quote, "I don't remember writing the Domino's commercials in script." The end.
Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's move into the video itself. What are some of the sins you guys enjoyed from this one? Jonathan, why don't you kick us off?
Alrighty. I enjoyed. Wait, that's the bonus pod notes. Oh, here we go. All right, I enjoyed. That's fresh, exciting, and fresh. And yes, I said fresh twice.
Yes.
And I don't want to take too many because there wasn't like a ton, but I did. No one wants to have contact with a pizza delivery person, and no one wants to have contact with people that would order pizza from Domino's. I thought was and
Trying not to take any of this personally.
And you said Jeremy wrote this one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that felt like a Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how to explain that. That felt like a Jerry.
On behalf
We
of
felt
my
that
on behalf of my children, I'm trying not to take any of this personally, but yes, I understand what's being said here.
It's a joke, Aaron.
It's not a joke in this family.
We write jokes. I didn't know if you knew that.
I liked, so they made and delivered that pizza in under 30 seconds. Do not eat whatever is in that box, man. I thought that was really, really funny. And then the aforementioned medium 2-topping pizzas for $5.99 each. Look, man, when you sell pizza this cheap, you're saying to the world, this is horrible pizza, but you're poor, so deal with it. I thought that was really funny as well. Danae, what do you got?
My favorite one was also you got to feel bad for Domino's for reworking their recipe, remodeling their stores, then repairing potholes, and now nobody even visits or drives, those poor bastards. I just thought that was a really
And those are great marketing
joke.
Ideas. I totally agree with that. That pothole thing was great, and then nobody drives anymore. So, which is actually not true, unfortunately. All right, let's move into TV sins. We're finishing up WandaVision with the series finale. This was a Diceu's script. Diceu's? Huser?
This was called series finale,
Yeah,
right?
the episode was called the series finale. Danae and I wrote on this one, is what I'm trying to say.
It's just easier. Yeah. Now my brain's doing the thing where I'm trying to fold the words together. It's very distracting. But yes, we did write on this one.
Portmanteauing live is always a fun experience.
What pressure were you feeling to write this script? Because for the beginning ones, it's not quite as bad. But the finale, I felt it.
Yeah.
Were you feeling it, or were you like, I got this? Because that's usually you're like, I got this. I'm the one that
Well,
panics.
it's a little more. This is what I do, as opposed to I got this. Like there's a little less, it's a little less confidence, and maybe just a little more. This is what I do every day. Like I don't feel the extra pressure of a finale or that kind of thing, like you're talking about. Jonathan, what about you? Do you feel like any extra pressure on certain kinds of episodes?
I don't think so, actually. No, I mean, I think types of shows.
Yes.
Like, I think I know when Danae and I did Star Wars Rebels, that one, because I'm not exactly a Star Wars expert, and so that was a little frightening. And yeah, stuff like that, but like not specific episodes or any. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, it's, if we do something Marvel or Star Wars or something like that, there's a little bit of, the fans, right? Like even in this one, there's a lot in the comments about, but actually, did you guys know that actually this thing? And it's like, you're always going to get that. And half the time it's people doing work for Marvel or Star Wars where they're like making stuff up that could be true. And then, the other half of the time it's this obscure reference that, I just forgotten or wouldn't have, known about. So
yeah,
I didn't want to.
Whereas if you piss off a Big Bang Theory fan, you're just kind of like,
yeah,
Yeah,
they're having a good time.
I'm kidding,
about you.
absolutely kidding.
No, you're serious. We have a ranked list of the fans we fear the most, and Big Bang is towards the bottom. I think what I was most, concerned about is actually trying to consider all that we had done in our previous episodes where we had seen some stuff like the running gags. Did they pay off? The things that sort of just naturally developed in our script writing, because obviously we haven't seen it. We're watching it right along with everybody else. So we don't have the advantage of doing like the little wink, wink, like glad that'll never happen. We don't have an ability to see what's going to happen. So there are certain ones where we were straight up wrong and ribbing the show. And I wanted to make sure that we gave sins back for that because we said we would. I very specifically wrote a sin early on. I think it was the Bewitched episode where Agnes says that the neighbor lady is the one that's in charge around here. Like she's the big one on the block. And I think the sin was something like noted. And if this doesn't pay off, I'm going to do something about it. And I just wanted to remember those things because I think that's going to be the fun of doing the next season recap for WandaVision, where you can sit back and watch all of the shenanigans unfold. And that was what I was most concerned about when I was writing it. But it was really fun to write on because there's a lot of things that I feel were really weird about the finale. And then after I sat with it for about a week or so, I ended up flipping over into, I think I actually liked it. But when it was happening, just like the previous episode, I was disappointed a little in the moment. But now I think I'm really happy with where it landed.
It just goes so full on Marvel cliche in that last episode. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, now we're back into full on MCU mode. And, superpowered beings punching each other and same versus same and just all the stuff Marvel does. And honestly, I just felt stupid for not realizing that's where we were going. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like, of course we're not doing any big work here. Of course, we're just, moving it along, not answering a lot of questions. I felt kind of silly for thinking they would do anything different.
What questions were you hoping to know more about?
Well, I honestly felt for a lot of the season that they were really going to answer like a big X-Men question or a big, something, maybe not that one, but something from like the Pietro reveal or so, that there would be some sort of big answer. And then I felt silly. I was like, of course they're not going to do that on the TV side. Well, they're going to save all that stuff for the movies, all of it.
Well, and also it's a TV show. It's not a movie, but so that does play into some. I mean, it did what a season of a TV show does that has this kind of continuity, right? It wrapped up storylines. And even though they called this series finale and they haven't said anything about their I don't really believe that there's not going to be. Maybe it won't be a traditional second season, but I feel like there's going to be something else down the pipeline with this show. Could be totally wrong, like I was wrong about everything that happened. But the stuff like the idea of them revealing like some kind of big bad, like I realized a couple episodes before this that Agatha was going to be the big bad for the season. I mean, that didn't surprise me that like Mephisto didn't show up or Doctor Doom. Right. Furthermore, I think that would have undermined everything that they had done with Agatha and what Catherine Hahn had done. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
I did think that there was going to be a person behind Agatha. Yeah. I really did. I thought there would be
and
her
there still
kind of
be.
Pulling the strings. Yes, but if I don't know, we'll have to just kind of see because it seems like they set up the big bad to be albino vision.
Well, and we also kind of assumed that Wanda hadn't created that somebody was pulling her strings, which I guess Agatha was to a point, but Wanda definitely created that scenario. It was just Agatha found out about it, came in and did her own thing.
Well, they did a double rug pull, right? Like they were like, it was Agatha all along. And then like one episode later, nope, it was Wanda all along.
It was Agatha manipulating her
things,
emotionally.
Yeah. Right.
And kind of keeping things because Agatha wanted to get close to Wanda to learn more about her abilities. And then I guess because of her powers, she wanted to steal them for herself and become powerful.
Yeah.
I like how, Aaron, you pointed out in the script that like they kind of skip over how any of that really matters, which I'm kind of okay with because there's so much else going on. I don't need to sink into Agatha's backstory to figure it out. I don't think they did a terrible job of just sort of like touching on the light things. I think the Salem stuff was a little over the top, but I know that's related to the comics and they're wanting to make sure to at least try their best to honor like the content, where it came from, all that stuff.
I also, the Scarlet Witch thing was a reveal too, which I didn't really think about for a minute, but the fact that they hadn't really ever called her that before and that she was finding out what that was about. And they even did they did some really cool, they just had a throwaway line about the Darkhold, which is kind of their Book of the Dead or whatever. And that's
the
that's actually a pretty Darkhold.
Oh, okay.
Darkhold, which is
that's funny.
Which there was even a comic book series specifically about that.
About the book? Mm-hmm. Or someone's dark hole?
Well, no, the Dark
There's books about that too. Yeah.
For clarity.
The Vision stuff didn't really interest me too much in the end, but everything else I liked. I do think there's probably 20 solid minutes, 20 great minutes in episode 8 and 20 great minutes in episode 9 you could kind of merge together, but that's not what they did. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Nope. They just went ahead and did this real interesting family wrap-up moment, didn't they? That was maybe my least favorite part of the entire thing. Yeah,
but I do want to say before we get into this, Wanda 100% sacrificed her children. Just want to throw that out there.
Sure.
Aaron,
totally understand.
Aaron has no heart is something I found out when we were writing this. When I was reading the script.
The point of that scene is that their conversation. I'm
joking.
In that moment.
No. Let him go. This is good, Jonathan. You wind him up and you let him go.
Their conversation in that moment is blaming the victims. It is blaming that town. It's like saying they'll never understand what you did for them. She didn't do anything for them. She destroyed their lives.
If that had been coming from Wanda's mouth, correct. This was Monica who was saying this to her. Wanda never agrees with her. She just makes that comment.
I don't care which character say it. It's the show letting
No,
Wanda
it
off
does
the
matter.
hook.
It does matter because Monica experienced what Wanda was doing.
Yeah.
So if Monica can see it from both sides, she has every right to come up with her own.
There's no both sides.
That's not victim blaming.
There's no both sides. It is all Wanda's fault. She is evil.
No, not both sides. I'm saying Monica experienced what the town was, experienced Wanda's mind control, and was able to get out of it and see what happened. I'm just saying that was Monica's opinion of the scenario, and she had every right to have that opinion if she wanted to. That's not victim blaming. She's one of the victims.
Okay, I think we have two different perspectives. You're in the TV show world. I'm not. I'm in the makers of the TV show and what they're doing
it's a TV
with the world.
show.
No, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. I'm outside going, you're making a TV show, and you're trying to let Wanda off the hook for something that she does not deserve let off the hook for.
I don't think they are. You're talking about one character's opinion out of however many characters are in that show.
You don't think they intentionally put that in there so there'd be a little bit of empathy for Wanda?
No, I think they put that in there so there's like a. Well, I mean, maybe, but I'm just saying in general. I think it's not everything's black and white.
That's what was sinned. It's sinned
they
that the TV show
some
is
gray.
letting Wanda off the hook.
You said specifically she didn't sacrifice her kids. She did. Whether they were real or not doesn't matter. She could have stuck with that scenario. And she saw her ways and she chose, I don't know, whatever.
But what about the stairs?
I still think Aaron doesn't have a
the stairs
heart.
were clearly from another show. Let's go back to that one. Let's just jump on Aaron.
Let's do that again, shall we? Jonathan, what are some of your favorite sins from the video?
Not the one about her not having a heart. I'm just kidding.
Listen, I will stand by the fact that this show wants us to have empathy for Wanda, and we should have none.
I don't disagree with what you're. Well, okay.
Sure, you should. There should be a little bit.
No, what she did was terrible. She deserves all the consequences.
Okay. Now that's not the question.
That's coming
she
from
did
the guy
terrible
who
stuff.
says people can have second chances, and all of a sudden he's like, "No, kill her, put her on the stake."
Just prison.
I
That's all.
I don't know. I feel like she doesn't have consequences. That bothers me for sure.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, she might still have consequences, though. You never know.
And that's true. There's still so much untold, so who knows where it goes down the line.
I like the whole run about we know she is bad, and then at the end you said because she has this sock neck. I thought was really funny.
What was that? Oh, that bothered me so much. I understand dramatically and cinematically you want to see some sort of transformation. And in Wanda's transformation into the Scarlet Witch just looked badass. I loved how it just sort of like appeared and then it was just so cool and I really loved it. But Agnes is like, we're going to give you some curly extensions and this old school Salem witch garb, including this strange stretchy sock material around your neck. And also your cheeks are going to be slightly more dark, hollow looking and also smoky eye. Go. And I'm like, man, that blows.
Yeah.
That blows. Make her look like give her an updated look. She looks like she just fell out of her grandma's closet.
It was like what a 57-year-old thinks goth is.
Yes.
It's like what your grandmother thinks goth is.
Yes.
I did goth. We wore sock necks.
Like it's okay. Bring back the brooch. What are those things called? That style. My grandma has like a whole collection of them.
What's Chris Kattan's character on the Goth Talk? They should.
Oh yeah, I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They should have just gone full Chris Kattan and Goth Talk. That would have been great. Like she could have even had a Cinnabon.
Oh, thank you, Laura. Yes, the cameo brooch. Like bring that back. Super okay with that. That can be goth, whatever. But the rest of it, you're so right. It's just such a weird version. Anyway.
Yeah, totally.
I enjoyed the his poor underbits. You know,
the costume.
We don't feel bad for Wanda, but we feel bad for Vision's nuts. So that's good.
I mean, that was very uncomfortable looking.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I just like the I like the terminology, like Robo Blanco, albino vision. I enjoyed that. I love you, so I hurt you, and I just loved the theater attic. I thought was very funny when she was pointing up.
That one cracked me up too.
Yes, good stuff.
I can go next. I wanted to mention the sin about spoiling your own show with what you put in your previously on segment. This has been something I have been wanting to sin for a while, and I'm glad I finally had the opportunity. Because I don't know if you're anything like me, but it is so intentional what they put in previously on because it's stuff they want you to remember for what's about to happen, right? And oftentimes they will put stuff in and my brain will go, why is that in there? And I'm like, oh, because there's going to be a callback to it and they're going to use it in some way. And in this case, I was like, oh, okay, Wanda's going to use the runes to turn it around on Agatha.
I'm still confused about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very confusing. In fact, that's the other thing I want to talk about was that sin. But I did want to mention that because the previously on thing just bugs me because it's showing your hand of what you think is important for this episode.
Right.
And man, I just
you say that, but then there's some people, I'm not going to name names in my life, who are like, God, I'm glad they showed that because I didn't realize that was important at all.
I get it. Okay, if you I get it from a perspective. If you've got a show that's been going on for 3 or 4 seasons, you're going to bring back this character that was like in season 1 and season 4. Totally get you showing some old scene with them, just so.
Yeah.
But like in a 9-episode series, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I kind of see what Aaron's saying.
I don't want them, but I have actually had a conversation with a couple people who like enjoyed them. And I judged them hard for it. And so if you're listening and you're one of those people, I just want to say I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't understand.
It's weird to me. It's foreign to me, as Aaron would say, when we're talking about like flipping through channels. But I'm sure there are people that have only watched 3 or 4 of the episodes, right? They watched them out of order. Yeah. And I don't understand, but you know.
There are absolutely 100% people who only watched the last episode, maybe the first and the last episode. I don't get that, but people do what people do. So, and there are also people who are second screening everything. They're in their phones, they're on their laptop while stuff's going on. And so like there's more need than ever to like, you're going to need to know this or you're going to feel confused. But at the same time, it's frustrating as somebody who sees the intention of it all and gets spoiled by it. But whatever. It's at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal, so.
No.
Max in the chat says one of my favorite previously ons was when Game of Thrones put a total red herring in there.
Yes.
And I think that's really fun and
that's
clever.
Very clever.
Or even when movies will do something that gives you an element of what the movie is about without giving you content from the movie itself, like extra stuff.
But
I love that.
Can we? I don't know how you're highlighting this stuff, but we should also highlight Barrett's in there trying to start shit. He said, "My favorite part was when Starkseed showed up." Is that what he said?
Dark side.
Yeah.
I always see Darkseid for some reason. I didn't know it's Darkseid.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I was just repeating what Aaron said because I just assume he's always right. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at that. What a jack. Love you, Barrett.
What about you, Danae? What were some of your favorite sins?
Oh, right. Yeah, my turn. Cool. First of all, I wanted to say last week I said something about Wanda having a soul stone. I meant mind stone. Thank you all for your kind corrections on the interwebs. I really do appreciate you being kind to me. And that's not being sarcastic. Everybody was really kind.
It's hard to keep up with.
The "is it really you" lead in, and then the sin is like asks the mind reader who would be capable of figuring that out pretty easily. I really hate it, and I'm glad that we send when Bad Vision is attacking her, and he's like, I thought you were powerful. And she really is. She actually destroyed Vision once already. So they just play, sometimes shows will play a female lead really strongly and then throw her into this damsel situation. And that one really bugged me because she's been shown to be incredibly powerful this whole time. And sure, the power of boners works for women too, right? So she's just faced with her love, and maybe that just kind of threw her or whatever. But it still pissed me off.
Let's go back to that. What was that? No, I'm kidding.
The power of gushers.
We get distracted.
I mean, I was a little confused. I mean, I thought that sin was great. I was a little on. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say. I was in the middle with that scene though, because I did feel like, I mean, she can still be overpowered, right? And I mean, Vision is very strong. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
But I ended up leaning more towards what you were saying.
She can literally just create things and then destroy them. So I'm assuming that, of course she'd struggle because it's her dude. But anyway, and then confusing moment when Bad Vision says you must be destroyed and goes for the Mind Stone again, but then this time he just yoinks out of existence. And then I'm thinking, well, why didn't he do that with Thanos?
Well, that is one of those actuallys that we got in the comments quite a bit.
Okay.
Was the explanation for that in I believe that's Infinity War, not Endgame. I think that happens at the end of Infinity War.
It does.
Is that he had a spear through him at the time that was affecting his ability to use his powers.
Okay.
So, but
okay.
Yes and no. It's
Great.
Convenient either way. But yes, that is the explanation.
I mean, there was an episode in WandaVision where a piece of gum screwed him up for it,
right,
for
that's
30
true.
minutes.
It's a fair point. Yeah.
And then I also really enjoyed the series of sins that Aaron actually did about Ralph Boner. Just going in and really hitting hard the absolute shit show sin of having the actor just be a random guy who happened to look like from the,
I love it.
That whole series. I love it too. I think it's super fun.
It's trolly. It's very trolly, and I get that. But yeah,
it's a CinemaSins thing.
It kind of is.
We would do that to our audience, but MCU is not supposed to.
This is different, but it's also, I don't know, there's something about that I love. Well, and maybe I just do love the trolliness of it. Like Iron Man 3 is another example of, I love the twist with the Ben Kingsley character in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
The balls on Kevin Feige and Shane Black to do that.
Yeah.
With a character that people just love, with a villain that people love, probably Iron Man's biggest villain, and to do that kind of twist. So I always find it interesting when they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I thought this was great. And I didn't really think they were going to bring all the former X-Men, like the former actors in anyways. But
no.
I don't know.
But it is the one thing, I think it is the one thing where they dangle, where it really is trolly. They specifically dangled something in front of the audience and then took it away and went, that meant nothing. That actually meant absolutely nothing. And it's like, okay, buddy.
Okay, all right, fine.
Because I mean, I'm not going to be shocked, though, if like they get Hugh Jackman back or something for a movie. That's not going to surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So, or Patrick Stewart or whatever,
Danae, did you have any others?
No, I mean, I think that it was really fun to do this. It was a lot of fun to do this series. I think the InstaSin stuff it's a really clever way for us to just throw everything at it and join the audience in the excitement of a brand new show. And I think WandaVision was a really good one to do. I liked doing Mandalorian, but WandaVision was like next level for me.
Yeah, it was
so I'm
really
a little
fun.
bummed it's over. But yeah, overall, it was a lot of fun.
The one thing
I think I actually enjoyed WandaVision more. I like Mandalorian a lot, but I think I actually enjoyed WandaVision more overall.
Yeah,
I think it was
so
just more my bag.
Yeah.
The one thing I wanted to mention before we move on, I actually had this in my comments, but Jonathan brought it up and then I forgot to expound on it. But one of the things happening in the comments around the big fight at the end and us saying that is a confusing thing, even if you answer some of those questions. We even had the conversation. We knew that they were trying to indicate that Wanda was throwing runes at the wall of the hex. Like, we got that. We understood that that's what they were trying to show us she did, although even that is a little kind of underplayed. But the point is, there's still all that other stuff that doesn't make sense about that. Once those runes are up, Agatha should be completely powerless. She shouldn't be floating. She shouldn't be able to do anything. The show is never clear on, is she actually sucking her powers out, or is Wanda pretending? And if she is actually sucking her powers out, like, all that stuff is just kind of like, what is actually going on here?
Maybe dreaming.
And Wanda could be holding her up in the air.
Sure, maybe. Yeah, it's just.
But then, what's the drama for? To fool her family and make her family suffer down below
like,
as they watch their mom die?
Once you've got those runes up, just take her into captivity. What are you,
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. I also I forgot to mention, but I like that you guys talked about what were the shows? And I don't know how the show could have ever explained that, like how the shows within the shows worked and the commercials and all that stuff. But I still thought it was fun that you guys dove into that.
Yes, because we waited for a long time to ask some of those questions because we assumed that we would be given motivations for doing the show. And really all the show has to say is she grew up watching sitcoms and wanted that perfect life. But it still doesn't explain why she actually broadcast them on a frequency.
Had credits.
And had commercials and credit. Yeah, like all that stuff. Like, so... So yeah, it was worth kind of going back and mentioning that at the end.
It was worth the sinning all along.
Let's move on to Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel. Speaking of Marvel, it's an all Marvel week on TV Sins. This was a What Use script. This was Danae and Jonathan. How quickly is that going to get old? Is it already? Should I just stop?
Has it been 2 weeks now?
Yes, this is the second week.
I wasn't listening. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we don't listen. Jonathan, you're becoming more and more like me every week.
Yeah, what is it? 6%? Is that what you give, Aaron? Was it 6%?
6%. What are we talking about?
When you asked her how much attention what was the percentage of attention she? This is like episode 2 of this podcast.
It's been a while. I don't remember the exact number.
It was like 6. It was really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of this episode? This Mission Marvel Phineas and Ferb combo.
What is this, like the maybe 6th or 7th episode we've done of Phineas and Ferb? 5th, something like that. So these are the only episodes I've watched. I do enjoy it. If my daughter wanted to watch it or something, I would totally watch it with her. I don't know that it's something I would ever watch on my own. But we did the Star Wars one, I think was the last one we did, and then this one we're doing a Marvel. I would say these are the two I have enjoyed the least. I don't know. I don't know what I expect them to do, but it just felt real gimmicky more than anything, and it didn't really feel like a Phineas and Ferb episode, except for parts of it. But it was fine. It was perfectly fine. I mean, I didn't hate it or anything.
Danae, what did you think
I liked the villain pairing, though. I thought that was an interesting batch, and I'm sure it was based on what they were allowed to use, but that was kind of funny.
I mean, they pretty much let them use I mean, it's all Disney stuff, so they were pretty lenient with it. Danae, what were your thoughts watching this? Did it kind of change the way you saw Phineas and Ferb?
Puppies. Is that what we're talking about right now?
No, Danae, we're not talking about puppies. Yes, the live audience can see that you have your puppy on your lap, but no, that is not the conversation we're having right now.
I like Phineas and Ferb okay.
Yeah.
I like superhero stuff okay, which combines together to equal cool.
I kind of like this. All right. Yeah.
I think it was a nice change of pace. And it's fun because sometimes I wonder, how do you sin the cartoon world? And you have to sort of wrap your brain around it in a different way.
Yeah.
And this one for me was really fun to write. So,
it was definitely fun to write
too, because they really do leave that poor kid with Hulk powers. They do not undo it. I went back and watched it multiple times. Does Baljeet continue in the show with Hulk powers after this?
Yeah, just every once in a while he'll Hulk out.
Hulk out?
No, I'm totally kidding. No, that's never mentioned again.
Okay.
As far as I know.
There's not a lot of continuity in this. This is kind of like The Simpsons, though, right?
Correct.
There's not a lot of continuity.
Every episode is a new continuity world. Yeah. Although there are plenty of callbacks. So it's not completely without continuity, but no, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of freedom for them to be able to do stuff. And I think you've
talked about this before, but isn't Baljeet kind of the one thing about this show that people are like, oh, I don't know how well that holds up?
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of blogs that I've read about the Baljeet character and kind of how he's just treated as this sort of dumping ground for jokes, and it now pretty inappropriate.
Yeah.
Well, totally. I mean, it was inappropriate then, but now it's more commonly talked about how it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Don't lick me, dog. Okay.
I'm just envisioning somebody just listening to the podcast. Completely inappropriate.
That's why.
Don't lick me. What?
Yeah, that's why I asked. The word
Who's
dog.
licking you?
Stop.
The mic is so good, you're probably hearing lick sounds. Hey, buddy. Okay.
We can move into the sins for this one. I get to start us off because it was Danae and Jonathan on this one. I loved also she is entirely too happy to be flung into a black hole. That made me giggle quite a bit. Cartoon character pulls comically large object from impossible places. Cliche. Thank you. So true. Happens so often in commercials. Not commercials, in cartoons.
Really anywhere.
Aaron didn't even know what Sins channel he's talking about.
And then the 1-2 punch of the why is he locked in a metal suit I thought was really funny. And also the phrase mini toot tank. Always glad to have actually said that publicly.
Coming up with on a video. Poo references.
Hey, I'm just trying. It's for your own mental stability, Jonathan.
No, I love it.
A mini toot tank. Of course, the iron suit has to have something for relieving himself. Of course it does. Don't worry, Buford lands on a soft pillow because this show cares about him, But F all these people in the subway car, am I right?
Yeah, that was great.
Love that. Now that I'm looking at the construction of Phineas and Ferb's suit, how does Ferb even breathe in this thing? And if Ferb is this far up in the suit, how was he not killed earlier when Whiplash sliced the suit in half?
Man, that suit was confusing.
So
we actually
confusing.
We ended up having to go back and cut one, right? Because we had different opinions or we had different views on it. It was just it was so bizarre.
Yeah. It was a strange choice to make them into one suit. Like, why not give them each individual suits?
Yes, I totally agree.
They clearly have unlimited resources.
I love that.
They could make whatever they wanted.
I love that scene also ended with that action should have sliced Ferb in half, and I demand to see kid guts. Just continuing this narrator's bloodlust is very funny to me. And then I really like the simplicity of forgetting that too long also means long enough. I thought that was very well observed. What about you guys? Danae, why don't you go next?
I wrote down the repetitive Stan Lee appearances. There were so many. So many.
Mm-hmm.
Why that many? I don't know. Another one that I really liked was just the Sin Modoc, but I admittedly did not understand that one at all. But it was like, I could tell that it would be one for comic fans. Maybe it's just because he's a lame character.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. He's weird. And I'll talk about him a little bit in Keeping Tabs, but I did some research on him and I was going a bunch of different angles. And then finally I just went with MODOK. So
nice.
Just straight up MODOK.
Yeah.
Giving all the sins back if Iron Man ran to the bathroom, and then the bonus round.
Yeah, the tri-state area.
They really are obsessed with saying that.
Oh, yes. And they know it. Yeah.
Is it a running gag on the show?
It is a running gag. Yeah, the tri-state area thing is definitely a running gag. It's very funny.
The things I don't know that I end up saying. Oops.
Jonathan.
Or yay? I don't know.
Yes, yay. We'll go with yay.
Yes, yay.
Well, going off of what Danae was talking about, him being trapped in the suit, I liked the wording of trapped in the suit all day long, holding in the real bomb. I thought was very
real
funny.
Bomb.
Yes.
Fondling someone's ball brain, going back to MODOK. And I also are not giving us an episode of Horse in a Bookcase, which is that something they've done on the show? Is that a running joke, or was that just for this episode?
If it is, I'm blanking on it.
I did not look it up.
Okay, I'm Googling it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I pretend to be an uber fan of this show, but I've probably seen a quarter of the episodes, which is a lot considering there's so many of them. But yeah,
there is apparently a theme song for the Horse in a Bookcase show, and here are the lyrics. It's a horse in a bookcase. It's a horse in a bookcase. Little horse in a bookcase. It's a horse, and then the horse neighs. So
well, there you
we
go.
all need to hear this one to complete the great things of our life. I'm going to go listen to it now.
Of course. Unless, of course, that horse is in a bookcase.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Are you playing it?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And we just got sued by Disney.
That's right. And we're off the air.
Dang it.
Sorry about that, guys.
And I've been fired.
Jonathan, I don't think we've done your favorite sins from this yet, have we?
No, that's what we were just talking about.
All right.
One of mine.
Did you finish out? I'm done. This is the part that I take out of every episode that happens at least once a week, where Aaron's like, "Where were we again, guys?"
Yeah, but in your defense, it usually follows whenever I'm like, do something crazy and random and distract you.
And in this case, that is also true. Thank you, Horse in a Bookcase.
Thank you, Horse in a Bookcase.
Let's move on to CinemaSins. We'll start with Office Space, which was a Sherkinson script. This was Barrett and Chris doing this one together. Danae, you got things to say about Office Space?
Boy, do I. And I'm Chris right now. A true surprise. In 1999, we knew Mike Judge could do Beavis and Butthead, but a live-action feature? Nothing about this movie looked appealing, and the story behind this movie has been told about how the marketing kind of screwed this up. For me, I was at MTSU, and a friend of mine told me there was this hardcore rap soundtrack featuring a bunch of white dudes working at an office, so I had to go see it. The theater where I was working at the time didn't get it. To sin Office Space is to take a piece of your soul. Wow, that's poetic.
I'm trying to be nodding guy right now.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. That's what you're doing right now.
Yes.
Okay. It's not like it's The Godfather or anything, but it's got a great number of laughs and scenes that are now classic. Stephen Root was mainly known for news radio at the time, is fantastic as Milton in a supporting role. Gary Cole, at the time more known for being the movie version of Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch movies, became the perfect annoying boss. Anyway, I had Office Space pretty much memorized over the years, so there were things I knew going in were going to be sinned. Peter's hypnotization, which goes from, quote, I don't care about work anymore, to, quote, I don't care, but I'm still going to find ways to go to work and disrupt stuff, is something that kind of doesn't make sense. And when you put on the sin cap, you see the tricks the movie uses to get Peter back into the office to do those things. Like when he has a date with Jennifer Aniston, he goes by the office to get a ledger to write her a number down so he won't forget it. Something he definitely could have avoided work to do. He has his meeting with the Bobs, the efficiency experts, and he impresses them with his blunt honesty, but then he's allowed to disrupt work for an unknown amount of time after his meeting with them. And there's still there to assess whether certain workers are needed or not. They kind of just conveniently leave the story for a bit to allow Peter to do all sorts of sabotage and get away with all sorts of disrespect. I believe we removed a good amount of sins in this to show how much we love this movie. Of course, this has gotten a few more dislikes than normal because it's a movie people love. Finally, he's not done. Finally, I'm so glad to finally get that Lumbergh confusion, good and sinned, in this movie. Peter thinks Jennifer Aniston has dated Lumbergh because out of nowhere character Drew tells him that she did. Everyone in the office refers to Lumbergh as the boss Gary Cole is playing. I hope I am emulating you correctly, Chris. I know you're watching, and I am very nervous about that. To continue. So Peter thinks that his awful boss has had sex with her, but it's only later when he tells his buddies that they're like, yeah, before we moved to Atlanta, including some other person named Lumbergh. You don't call two people by their same last name without indicating who you are talking about.
Chris says,
Shit.
Does Danae know she's fired yet?
No!
Oh, mercy.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. All right. And then Barrett has more to say.
Does Barrett want to say it live?
Does Barrett want to say it live?
Nod your head if you want to say it live.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Barrett has joined the podcast.
Hey, man.
Do you have your microphone on?
I guess.
Yes, he does. Barrett, go ahead and give your thoughts on Office Space.
Office Space rules.
There you go. That's all we needed. Okay, so we got Barrett's opinions on Office Space.
Actually, Barrett wrote more of his opinions, but maybe didn't want to read his opinions.
Apparently not.
Okay.
That's all he just wanted to say.
He
just
wanted to say
pop
it ruled.
in. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Barrett said, I think Chris has covered Office Space thoroughly, but I'll pitch in that the most annoying part to me in a movie I love is near the beginning, when Peter is shown hustling his ass off to get out of work on time or a little early. First off, he's on the phone with Milton, which he's never seen doing before or after in the movie. Then he has a million things to get done before he leaves, including shutting down his computer. Why is he so fucking busy? He later tells the Bobs that he does about 15 minutes of actual work per day. Also, what is being done at Initech that requires mid-level employees to work the fucking weekends anyway? I know Y2K is coming up. Remember that? But ain't no way that's necessary. Anyway, Jen Aniston is a manic pixie dream girl that loves kung fu, and her vagina hops right into bed with Peter after he takes her to lunch. I think this might be why he didn't want to read his statement today. I'm not sure. She's given nothing to do in this movie except for have various conversations about flair, which are admittedly hilarious. She's great with what she has, but let's just agree that writing female characters has never been Mike Judge's strong suit. Anyway, I do love the movie, as he just indicated a second ago, live. I love Dietrich Bader's character, and the soundtrack kicks all the ass in transmission.
Very nice. Danae, is this one you've seen? I feel like this is one you've seen. Am I wrong about that? Oh, okay, you're not sure.
I think the answer is yes.
Okay, I thought I've heard you talk about Office Space, that like you and your friends watched it back in the day or something.
I think it's similar to Chris, where I heard or that there was rap music, and so I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
That was kind of like my pull, because I would have never been like, oh, ooh, a movie about work, let's go.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been the music that would have.
I'm sorry, I like that Jeremy and Barrett are having a conversation about his office walls. Over here in the chat,
Barrett painted his walls, and that is the important part of that cameo is that Barrett
that was
painted
great.
his office walls.
That's why Live Sin Week is a blast.
That's right. That's what you get. That's what you get with Live Sin Week.
I don't remember seeing it. I don't remember if I went to the theaters or if I just saw it later. But and I don't remember like laughing with friends about it. But that's nothing new. So for those of you again who are playing bingo and you have one that's I don't remember. That will work. The no, I've never seen it is coming up next for Deja Vu.
You did not have Deja Vu watching Deja Vu.
But you will have Deja Vu when Danae says she hasn't watched a movie that we're talking about.
Chad is asking for a ruling on drink or no drink. This would be a water drink.
This would be a non-alcoholic.
Or tea. Have some tea. Drink some tea.
Yes. I don't really have much to add. I really love this movie like a lot of people do for the humor. And it's very quotable and something that's, just been a lot of fun to have in my life. So I don't really have much to add that hasn't been talked about. Jonathan, what about you? What are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I know. I think it's a really funny movie. The thing I really liked about it at the time, though, is I was a huge Ghetto Boys fan. I mean, I still like the Ghetto Boys. I still am, I guess. But I just remember them, like, people just walking around, like, rapping those, singing those songs was kind of awesome in a weird way for me. Not that they weren't ever popular. I mean, Mind Playing Tricks on Me was a pretty big hit, early '90s. But I don't know. That just made it fun for me. And the copier scene is just epic. But no, it's a funny movie. It's and I agree with Barrett. I think Diedrich Bader's maybe the best part about it.
Yeah. Yep. One of the main reasons I really enjoyed the Drew Carey show as well. You remember that show?
Yes.
Diedrich Bader on that as well.
Cleveland rocks.
It does, indeed. Cleveland does indeed rock. We don't talk about it enough.
God, I bet that Mimi stuff doesn't hold up very well.
I hadn't even thought about it. I haven't seen an episode of that show in a long time. Yeah, that's probably true.
Because that's not a show that I like see in syndication or anything. So I don't know. I haven't seen it in a minute.
Let's talk about the sins. Danae, why don't you kick us off? What were some of your favorite sins from the Office Space video?
Sure, super ready for that. No problems. Why does a beer-drinking young bachelor have a poster of blood pressure apparatus on his living room wall? This is a very, very good question.
Yeah. And
also something that I think I appreciate because I like to look for those things too, like in the background. I hope that I would have known what that was, and I'm not sure who wrote that, but that was pretty.
Yeah.
And then also, no matter how hypnotized you are, this parking job made me laugh. Mostly, I had very recently had a little mild explosion of frustration and anger in a parking lot due to a parking job. And I felt seen whenever I saw that one. And then I really enjoyed the fountain drink stuff. Like if she's over 30 minutes away from a destination, where is she planning to pee? I don't know. Those are some of my favorites. I liked all of it, but those are some of the ones I wrote down. What about you guys?
It's interesting because you mentioned that fountain drink one, which ends with "You can't win, Pepsi. Stop trying." Which both CinemaSins video diss Pepsi this week, which is just one of those things that completely prompted, unorganized. Just two people dissing Pepsi on the same week,
which is unfortunate because Pepsi is better than Coke. But anyways, go on.
You can tell Jonathan did not write those sins. So yeah, there is that as well.
No, we're making fun of or they are making fun of the advertising, not the specific.
Of course, not the specific. Yeah. Wait till we get to Deja Vu. I also enjoyed. I might start adding sins for no reason if this movie keeps making me remove them. I thought that was a really fun thing and well deserved. All the sins that came off for this movie. This might be serious, but it's not like run across a business park in your work clothes serious.
Yeah.
So good. Putting yourself in your own movie and you don't even do one effing butthead voice, for shame. And that goes for you too, M. Night. Loved that. I know the TPS reports are villainized in this movie, but this is just a dick thing to do. Peter's approaching the unlikability index of Tom in 500 Days of Summer, except he's being lauded for it. Such a great point and very well put. I liked all those. What about you, Jonathan?
I really enjoyed the Sin. God damn it! I don't care how annoying this place is. There is no fucking way two bosses would get this bent out of shape over a fucking cover sheet being missing. But I will say, I have worked in an office where shit like this happened, where I mean, two bosses would come to me with the same complaint or issue. It was never just a cover sheet, though. I was terrible at this job. Let's just be honest. They had every right to scold me, but it was still annoying. It's like, why can't just one of you come get on to me? Why do both
mom
of you
and dad have to get on me? Come on, guys.
Peter accurately describes what it's like working for CinemaSins all the way back in 1999, of course. Fuck the Nodder, I thought was really funny. And basing your restaurant philosophy on Madonna.
Yeah, that was good as well. Ready to move on to Deja Vu. No, we haven't done this before. Every other comment in the comment section of this video is, I thought they already did this one. I'm just like, guys, it's funny, it's clever.
It's funny.
But it's already been done 100 times, which maybe makes it better. I don't know. Who knows? Meta is just that way. This was a Skycer script. This was Jeremy and myself on this one. Dicer Scott.
You know, it's only going to be 2 weeks because you really can't. There's not that many options.
Oh, we haven't gone to first names yet. We've got plenty of combinations.
It's already been brought up in the chat that all of our names visually say, it says Danae, visually it says Jonathan, and then visually it says Dicer. And I have been contacted, like, my OCD cannot handle this. Please change Dicer to Aaron.
Consider Dicer my first name. That's fine. Just call me Dicer. That's what a lot of people do.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever really been, at least not on a regular basis, I've never been called by my last name. That's never something that's really happened to me. I don't really have a last name that beckons that.
In fact, the very first reference in my very first official Sins video, Jeremy dropped my name in a script as Dicer. Just said Dicer did this thing or whatever. So kind of ever since then, I've gone by CinemaSins. Dicer.
Danae always refers to her husband as Hughes, and when that whole pizza dipping in milk trolling job Aaron was doing, I tweeted to Justin, "What have you done, Hughes?"
What was that? Can we derail for a sec, Aaron?
Sure.
Okay.
So let's set up for somebody who may not follow your husband on Twitter. Your husband on Twitter released something about, do you still dip Oreos in milk? Which, come on, duh. Everybody dips Oreos in milk.
Cookies. I think it was just general.
Yeah, it was just cookies. Yeah, it was just like, dipping cookies in milk. Of course, that's not a kid thing. That's a human thing. But it was one of those things where then I mentioned just dipping a whole variety of absolutely disgusting things.
Jelly, that's legit, right?
I did that when I was a kid, but I don't do that anymore. But the pizza thing is a complete troll. That's a 100%. Just kind of get people talking. And if you noticed, all of my GIF responses to people about that were from the movie Trolls. So
I was so horrified, I didn't even catch that. And then Aaron says, that was a joke, right? I'm like, no, I had no idea. Like, this is the guy that told us he eats sandwiches in the shower. And
that's true. Food tastes better in the shower.
That's what I'm saying.
You're such a troll. Okay, so Justin comes running into the room and he's like, Aaron's just done something on Twitter and I don't understand. Like, he was freaking out.
Aaron's just done something on Twitter.
Like, what's going on? Talk to me. And he's like, he says he dips pizza into milk. And I was like, no, he doesn't do that. And he literally needed me. He said, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Aaron doesn't do that.
It was, and I think Jeremy even answered that. Oh, dude, you shouldn't say stuff like that to people.
Yeah.
I don't do. Anyway. I will say I was on the no cookie, but because I don't like Danae doesn't like soggy pizza. I don't like soggy cookies. So
yeah.
That's a texture
I get
thing.
it. Some people don't like soggy bread. I totally understand that, but as a texture thing. But
milk on pizza. Some people don't
dipping your pizza in milk seems gross to people. I don't understand.
I think it's gross to eat pizza and then drink milk. But now we're back to commercial sins, and we can't go back. Let's just.
You can't drink milk with like Italian.
We've got to go back.
No,
we've got to go back.
I do have to say, I love that as soon as we started talking about this topic, those who are on Twitter who have been a part of this conversation already are like, no, please, let's stop talking about this because it is just so gross.
Yeah, I think your husband even tweeted that you didn't believe me. And I responded with a troll gif that basically said, "Oh, that's so sad."
I did not catch the troll thing.
Yeah.
I just thought you were just being funny.
Buddy.
All right, let's go. Let's get into Deja Vu. What did Jeremy have to say about this one?
Jeremy said, "Deja Vu is possibly the greatest movie ever made. It makes so little sense. It ends up making all the sense. It is a preposterousness of law-abiding citizen. It is the preposterousness of law-abiding citizen, but the earnestness of Crash and the balls of a movie like The Southland Tales." If anyone's wanting to keep track, I've seen none of those. So please just drink, drink carefully today.
Yes, be careful. Just be very, very careful listening to the podcast, please.
Especially if you're, I truly, truly love it. Everyone plays everything so straight that by the time that they're debating if Denzel's underwear will be too much. Did this really happen?
Yes.
I can read this anymore. And I just got started. There's so much more. They're debating if Denzel's underwear will be too much mass for the accidental time machine talk. You're gonna have to take over, I think. That's so dumb.
No chance. No chance I'm taking over. You're getting through this.
I'm sorry. I was so confused watching the Sins video. I'm like, what is happening? What is this movie? And I didn't read the synopsis before it either. So I was like, oh, I'll just figure it out later, forgetting that this was our live one. I really should have prepped for it a little bit more. And I really didn't read anything that Jeremy had to say before now. Okay. Sorry. Back on track. Underwear, accident, time machine, go. You are absolutely right there with them, nodding like everything happening is totally mundane and normal the way the way you do when a 3-year-old tells you a story that they made up. Only this time, the 3-year-old story has major stars, studio backing, and a budget of $75 million. And none of those things end up bringing any common sense to the resulting film. It jumps between genres like it's being clever, when it's really just biding its time so it can spring the bonkers shit on you. Denzel made 5 movies with Tony Scott, and they're all entertaining. But Deja Vu is the nuttiest, zaniest premise of the bunch, and yet it takes itself more seriously than The King's Speech. I also haven't seen that one. It's a unique and singular film, and I'm not sure I could put too many other films into the same filing folder as this one. Time Cop, didn't see that one. The ridiculous time travel, or has the ridiculous time travel, but not the mentor, fatherly love interest, or the gritty procedural investigation. Bone Collector. Oh, I have seen that one. Bone Collector has the procedural investigation, but not the completely unimportant Mardi Gras setting or the implausible technology. Twilight has a way older guy mentor fall in love with his younger female mentee, but no Denzel and no Val Kilmer. Sin-wise, it simply cannot be overstated how much shit this guy touches without wearing gloves that he should not be touching. And the biggest sin in the movie is using the machine to send back a note one time and then never doing that again. But I implore you to ignore the sins. Grab a drink and a salty snack and sit back and enjoy what is one of the most purely entertaining movies you will ever watch and also be confused by.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I love that Jeremy referenced Twilight, and it wasn't the vampire movies. It was the Paul Newman, Reese Witherspoon movie from the late 90s. That was awesome.
We know Danae hasn't seen it. Obviously, I've seen it because I sent it, but I will tell you, if I had seen it before this, it had been long enough that I didn't remember any of this movie. I may not have really seen this one before sending it.
Oh, wow. This seems like an Aaron Dicer movie. Like,
doesn't it, though?
All
Yeah.
the way through.
I feel like it maybe just been so long that I've forgotten a lot of it. But yeah, it felt like I hadn't seen it. So that was really strange that it was something I totally didn't mean for it to be this meta, but the idea that I couldn't figure out whether I had seen this movie before or not, it did very much feel like there were moments of deja vu in this movie where I think I've seen this, but I couldn't remember.
I saw this, I think, in the theater, or I like rented it, right when it came out, available. I don't remember which, but I know I saw it around when it came out. I have not ever seen it since. I remember really liking it too. I don't know why I haven't watched it again. I love Denzel, love Tony Scott, but I don't think I have.
Yeah.
And because I didn't remember a lot when I was watching the video, but it was weird. I had my own deja vu moment. Adam Goldberg plays, I guess, the guy in the chair in this movie because he's on the computer. Is that what he says in Spy? Is it the man and the guy in the I'll be your guy in the chair?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like, I know I haven't seen this movie in a while, but I've seen Adam Goldberg sitting in a chair in front of a computer very recently. And he's in that new, he's in that Equalizer show with Queen Latifah. He's her guy in the chair. So
interesting.
I was like, that was my deja vu moment. No, but I really remember liking this movie, and I need to rewatch it. And the video made me want to, so maybe I'll handle that soon.
Had a lot of fun with this one. Curious what you guys liked in this one. Jonathan, why don't you start? What were some of your favorite sins in this?
Sorry,
this
I had
video?
to reopen my file because when Barrett got on here, I accidentally closed it. Is this a nepotism hire for Man on Fire? I thought was really funny. I always love Bruce Greenwood is not the president in this scene, which is so funny that's become a running gag because I think I looked it up not too long. I think he's been president like 2 movies, but but he does seem like he should be the president every time you see him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Erotic autopsies. I mean, how do you not go there? And also,
by the way, that was a crossover. We both wrote that portmanteau kind of idea. We had different ones. I forget what mine was, but we went with Jeremy's. But yeah.
Well, and then you had a second one on there. I didn't write that one down. I remember, so that wasn't, you didn't do like both of yours and combine them?
No. Yeah.
And going off of that, this is a strange way to say I was at her autopsy and inspected her hand.
Oh, I remember mine. Mine was a corpse objectification or corpse objectification.
That's good.
Corpseification. Anyhow, yeah.
And then I love the observation about funeral umbrellas. I have never thought about that. But you are correct. They always have black umbrellas at funerals.
Yeah.
And it's always raining.
And it's always raining at funerals.
Yep.
Why would you bring your like bright rainbow umbrella to a funeral?
Who has multiple umbrellas?
I mean, I have like 5.
I kind of honestly, I just assumed that it was something that the funeral place like has handy if it rains.
There was somebody in the comments.
True.
There was somebody in the comments that said we provide those at funerals where it rains. So those people were stealing because those people were walking away with the funerellas. They were walking away with the funerellas. So yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. But I never thought about that before in my life. I love learning things.
I love in the chat. Laura's like, who has multiple umbrellas? Welcome to British people.
Yeah. Welcome
British
to
people.
Seattle.
Like when you have kids though, like my daughter's got like a few, and then my wife. I don't know. You just get umbrellas every now and then.
Yeah.
You go somewhere, you forget to bring an umbrella, so you have to buy one. You've never done that. That's why we have 30 ponchos. We could open a poncho store if you want to buy used ponchos.
Do it.
Because every time we go to Disney,
by Watkins.
Every time we go to Disney, we never bring our ponchos.
Yeah.
And then we have to buy them.
Jonathan, did you have any more that you wanted to mention?
No. Well, right. I will say I like the self-referential and what even is my job having to ask questions like this because I guarantee that's what all of us think that while we're writing scripts.
All the time. Danae, what were some you wanted to bring out?
I really liked the Fantastic Four school of I'm gonna touch this unknown substance. I thought that just the IMA.
Yeah.
I like spelling words in a fun ways, but you guys know that. The sandwich ones, like, did I already say that about the sandwiches? That kind of running gag. Mm-hmm. And even the gloves where the sin eventually becomes, he is familiar with the concept of gloves. Just the cleverness of kind of how those pay off at the end was really nice.
My favorite of the sandwich guy run of jokes was the one where he was appearing not eating a sandwich, and the sin was, who is this guy and why isn't he eating a sandwich?
Yeah, exactly. They were all so
couldn't recognize him without his sandwich.
The lead in being like, we held hands once, but no, I didn't know her. And the sin is, this is a very strange way to say it. I was at her autopsy and inspected her hands.
Yep.
And one that I love, the tater tot one, because tater tots. But then also, nope. You know what? Never mind.
What just happened?
Well, okay, so I'm like, guys, I love the tater tots one, and then I wanted to talk about the anal joke, and then I thought people would be like, oh, because she likes anal too, and I just thought maybe it was going to be weird,
a weird segue.
You made it so much less. You made it so much less weird by just saying it out loud. So
I know.
Congratulations on avoiding the weirdness.
Really quickly. I'm glad you think so, because I was really nervous about that.
Yeah, no, it was perfect.
I should have, out of all the things the streamers did not expect to hear today.
Yeah.
That had to be close to the top.
Aaron, are you going to make that the opening for, maybe just cut it from the real one later, and that'll just be for you guys, just the 50-some people in the room.
Oh my God, that would be the opening. I just thought about that. Oh my God. That's a cold open for sure.
Oh, shit.
That's gross, Jonathan. That's gross.
How was that gross? I don't even get that now. Now I'm confused.
I was trying to move.
What is in Aaron's head right now?
Nothing.
I'm really curious.
Nothing.
Should I just make it weird and just be completely quiet now?
No. Is it my turn? Should I start talking about other ones I like?
It can be.
Did you have another one you wanted to mention?
I did, but I just feel like I should just be
No, go ahead.
now.
Please mention one more.
No, I can't, because the only one that I have left is about a threesome. So we'll just move on.
So the final one is the one you're talking about.
Jonathan, I killed him. He's dead.
The threesome one is the one at the end, right? Where they kill off one Denzel so they don't accidentally have the double Denzel problem.
So good.
Movie robs us of the greatest threesome of all time. Fun stuff. I also wanted to mention the French horn sins as a father of band members who play French horn.
I knew that was you.
First of all, the jamming this hard on the French horn, just watching somebody go to town on a French horn like that, cracked me up. And then the acknowledgement that when you're blasting brass through Mardi Gras, you use a mellophone instead of a French horn. Because we've had people in our videos call us out for calling something a tuba when it was a sousaphone, and like people know the difference in marching instruments and concert instruments. So yeah, I wanted to get that in there. Let's see. Here's the
I successfully destroyed the chat.
Yes, you knew. I get we're establishing a slob here, but even the slobbiest of slobs doesn't set their Diet Pepsi on their handwritten notes. You set that in the trash can and then buy a Diet Coke instead.
I love that one.
That one was for Jonathan. I knew he'd appreciate that.
Oh,
yes.
Jonathan, did you feel seen?
I did.
A lot of comments about he smiles when he sees the cat and immediately feeds it, and then removing a couple sins for that. There's just such a sweetness there, and that's so fun, and I think people really love that when that kind of stuff happens. I have to bring up that they use facial recognition software for bags. I just have to bring that up because it is the most ridiculous thing I may have ever seen in a movie.
It really is, and then that they don't do it for faces later, or it doesn't work.
Or it takes forever.
As well.
Yeah, it takes forever for a face later. But no, it instantly recognizes this is the exact bag from this random ATM photo. I really enjoyed Jeremy's read on, and by not changing anything, we didn't not change two things, and by not changing two things, we didn't also not change any three things. And if I can change, and if you can change, and then getting cut off in the midst of the Rocky speech. And then the bars that Jeremy showed by doing the in my deja vu, if he just got a deja clue about what we already deja knew to be deja true, then I'm taking this deja Q to be deja through with this deja poo, and I offer a big deja boo. I thought that was really well done as well. So there you go. Deja Vu, the movie.
By the way, real quick, I just realized what you probably thought I meant by cold opening, and that is absolutely 100% not what I meant. I was talking about the actual cold open of the show. That would be something.
We had successfully moved on, man.
I don't know, because I don't want people thinking that's what I meant.
No, I'm in that same boat, man. I also don't want people thinking that that's what I meant. But you know what? Here we are.
Yep.
I like how I accidentally made myself into.
No, I love. I that you figured it out and then brought it back, so we could all have that wonderful experience.
How he works. That should be on the bingo card.
Yes.
Jonathan callback.
Yeah, like I wonder what Susie thought of that anal joke.
Fair enough.
Susie was your most epic callback to date.
It's a good question. All right, let's move on to keeping tabs.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
Oh, jeez.
This is the most public yet of my many humiliations.
We're each going to talk about the process of putting stuff together for the Sins content from the week. Jonathan, why don't you kick us off? What's your keeping tab for this week?
I just did the Phineas and Ferb. That's all I worked on this week. So I did look up some stuff on MODOK, although, like I said, I just ended up going with MODOK. I didn't really know if he's real popular or not, but I was just I knew he was. I had read somewhere where he was kind of a joke in some areas. But anyways, so MODOK was a character that apparently was actually a Captain American villain, which for some reason I found really odd because he seems more like a Guardians of the Galaxy villain or something.
Sure,
but he was actually he was actually a recurring villain for Captain America. He also appeared in Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, as well as the Avengers. MODOK stands for, which I tried to do something with this and I couldn't figure it out. MODOK stands for Mental Mobile Mechanized Organism Designed Only for Killing. Like someone actually came up with that. So
wow.
And
mental.
It was mental. Go ahead.
What is it?
Mental Mobile Mechanized Organism Designed Only for Killing.
So the second O is only. So that's a hard O. So technically it should be MODOK. Just so people know if you're going to use the GIF
you missed it.
explanation.
That's what it was. There's the sin.
And the first M is 3 words, but they have like the backslashes or whatever.
So it technically should be MODOK.
Yes.
I think it's technically how you need to pronounce that every time.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, like Sward.
Exactly.
And I just thought this was funny. There was apparently a story arc where MODOK died, but he was replaced with a female counterpart called Modam, which is
Modam.
That's amazing.
And there's an animated series called MODOK Head Games that apparently, I guess it said it had a 2020 date on it, but I guess it's still coming. That might have been a pandemic thing. But Patton Oswalt is going to voice him. It's going to be a Hulu series, one of their Marvel shows. So yeah, should be fun. There's my keeping tabs.
I would just like to point out, because there's a lot of conversation in the chat about this. Metscast says, #BTS bingo. Aaron says GIF instead of GIF, and I don't understand. He put the same word. Those words are pronounced the same, so I guess I don't get that comment. But yeah, I guess we can move on from that.
Yeah, that's definitely on the bingo card. I have a list here. I may have missed some, but
all right. Danae, why don't you go next?
Okay, so I failed on all levels last week, but I actually found what I was looking up before. So I'll do a little quick callback. I did look up, interestingly, Salem. So we sinned in a previous WandaVision episode, Salem, Massachusetts. And, like the CinemaSins sin is like, as opposed to Salem, whatever. And there are 36 places named Salem in America. There's also Salems in Indonesia, Jamaica, India, Spain, Germany, South Africa, Sweden, Palestine, Namibia. And then, it just goes on and on. There's a lot. We have tons of options. 58 places possibly total that we could send for Salem. And I just really appreciated the GeoTarget website for helping me out there, because I think that's really interesting. Now, some of them are not quite as obvious as others, like they're really localized places. It would be like, anyways, I kind of went on a deep dive, but I forgot to tell you guys about it. So I thought I would share that. I looked all up in that.
It's a little bit behind the scenes too with that style of sin, with the in case you confused it with, Salem, Oregon kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes what we're doing is we're making fun of the need to do that. But when you say Salem, actually, you do kind of need to do that, because Salem, Oregon is a popular one, and there are a lot of Salems, which is why we added the famous witch trials part into the sin, because obviously once you include the famous witch trials, you're in Salem, Massachusetts. You don't need to,
Yeah, and I felt like, because I think I immediately did Oregon, and I felt like an asshat because Danae was like, maybe we should do something like, I don't remember which one you picked.
Indonesia or something,
many.
Yeah. And then I was
There's
like,
one in the UK.
And then Aaron and I both were like, well, Danae, when there's an actual place called Salem, whatever, we like to use that one.
Yeah.
And then you came back like, yeah, there's a ton. And you sent the website link, and I was like, oh, damn. I'm done.
Shit. There's one in like Carmarthenshire, UK that could have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Or Orongo. Yeah. So I don't know. I always like to try to. Yeah. We could have made Aaron say Mecklenburg-Vorpommern from Germany. That's what we should have.
Could have.
I think Aaron added the Salem witch trials bit though, which was really nice.
That was smart.
I wanted to mention usually this would be in comment section, but I did do some research on this, and really it's the only thing I can think that I necessarily did research on. But in the Deja Vu video, there's a joke about Jim Caviezel being on screen, and if this is who I think it is, then you can't kill him because a day ago he'll be back or something like that. I did some research on other characters he had played, and he had played this guy named Jesus Christ, and so I did some research into this Jesus guy. And this Jesus guy apparently, I don't know if you've heard this, apparently was killed and then came back 3 days later. Is what I found in my research.
Bible trolling. You're going to hell.
I mentioned that because there is a comment in the comments of that video that says about that sin. It lists the time frame. Says, okay, so I guess this could be a person of interest reference because Jim Caviezel, the actor, plays a tough as balls character in the POI series, but he never really dies. I mean, maybe in the end, I don't know, winky face. He definitely never died and came back, but he's badly hurt in season 2 or 3 where he loses a partner and after 1 or 2 days comes back for an unfulfilling revenge. My point is, if this is a POI reference, it's an okay one, but why not mention it's a POI reference? WTF? And I just want to say, no, that was a Jesus reference, but appreciate the comment nonetheless. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was on the Deja Vu movie, there is also that sending the note back in time. Jeremy and I talked a lot about the time travel aspect of this movie because both of us realized kind of what nonsense it is. But there was something that got cut because something Jeremy wrote was a lot funnier. But where I mentioned the idea that if you can send a note back 4 days, send a note back to 4 days ago you, telling that person to send a note back to 4 days ago you then, and you can just keep doing that and go back as far as you want and have a note to somebody, 40 days ago or whatever. There's just so many ways if you once knew you could send a note back to people that you could completely, change things or make new timelines or whatever this movie is saying is happening. So yeah. So anyways, it's one of those weird things that breaks your brain to think about, but they definitely try to have it both ways in this movie. And it can't work both ways. Can't work both ways. All right, let's move on to the comment section.
I want to know what you're thinking.
I appreciate your honesty. You're a real straight shooter.
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
All right. This is the moment. Our live chat. Throw some questions. We are each going to pick.
Close and flesh. Is
that what I said?
I think you said throw some questions, or were we?
Okay.
I do want to mention
throw some questions our way.
This is like a real quick one, but I noticed when we were talking about the pizza and milk, I noticed that Joseph said something like, I like ranch with pizza. I just wanted to say that is absolutely acceptable. That is not the same as milk.
Don't drink ranch.
Just let your milk curdle and then dip it in the milk. That's pretty much the same as ranch.
No. That's blue cheese.
There you go, blue cheese. There you go.
Yeah, so in the chat, you guys can ask any question you want. We will not necessarily be able to answer all of the questions because that would mean that we would have an hour-long podcast just for that one segment.
All right, Danae, I'm going to let you pick the first question. We're each going to pick 2 questions from the chat.
First one's from Ian. Why is Danae like this? I'll just skip that one.
Sorry. What?
A question from Amanda. Can you wrap up? I've got to leave soon. Wow, guys, you are just so helpful.
Yeah, really making us feel good.
Super helpful.
Really making us feel good.
You question from Nick. Love this new format. Is the DNA podcast going to always have Jonathan from now on? Wow, guys. Wow.
Wrong podcast.
Pez asks, does my mug fit on the BTS coaster? Technically, it more than fits. My mug is huge. Wow. What does the DNA... There we go. What does the DNA behind Danae mean? I've got two. We've got one over there and I've got one over here because they used to be in our studio. And then whenever we split our studio due to the pandemic, I got a huge amount of stuff and I am displaying them both. But essentially, it's a project that Aaron and I have been on for a long time. We were in radio for years together and then started a podcast network together. We have another podcast that we do. We actually have a Twitch show / YouTube show that we do every week as well called The Morning DNA. And it's Danae and Aaron. So that's what it stands for.
What CinemaSins question are we missing? Because everybody keeps saying answer the CinemaSins question. I couldn't find it.
CinemaSins is in the chat saying, who is your favorite boss?
Oh.
Jesus.
They're all so good.
Skip?
Jesus.
Yahweh.
Jesus. Yep.
Yanni? Is that what you said? Yanni?
Yeah.
Oh, you said Yahweh.
Yeah, Yanni.
My favorite boss is I'm trying to do a Maramy Arrett. I was trying to do an Aaron combo.
Yeah. All right. So I've gone through a few. They're going fast. So
Jonathan,
you guys
go ahead. You pick one.
Do timestamps, but they don't work for us like that, guys. Sorry, you'll have to repeat it.
Mean. Well, then write it again, Jeremy. I don't know what question you're talking about.
Oh man, Jonathan, you talk to your boss real bold like.
No, I'm asking him to write it again. I don't mind answering.
No, they're gonna keep trolling you in the chat. Do you see what's happening?
Aside from being the year when movies didn't happen, what is your movie memory from 2020? That is Laura Guy.
Okay, the question is, aside from being the year when movies didn't happen, what is your movie memory for 2020?
That's a good one.
And I am so sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. But that is a good one. But now I'm trying to think of I will say this. I really used this year used 2020 to watch a lot of classic older films probably pre-2000 actually mostly, but just a lot of films I had never, had always been on my watch list and hadn't seen. And I actually got to rewatch stuff that I hadn't watched since I saw it in the theater, like a lot of 90s movies. Watched a lot of 90s movies that I'd only seen once because I was going to see everything. So, and then just getting to watch a lot of movies with my daughter. That was a lot of fun introducing her to a lot because she'll be 10. Well, I can't fucking believe, but she'll be 10 in a few months. But, so just introducing her to a lot of movies, I felt like she was getting a little older and, was more ready for, was a lot of fun. So those are my memories.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Watching a lot, catching up on a lot of movies, older movies that, I hadn't seen, including some musicals that I just hadn't spent time with. And I love musicals. And so, doing like Oklahoma and Guys and Dolls and just some of the big musicals that I just never had really sat down and spent, 3.5, 4 hours with because some of those movies are long. But yeah, that would be my answer. Danae, do you have an answer to this question?
Okay, so I think Bloodshot is the only movie I saw in theaters all year long. But my favorite movie experience I had was probably watching Over the Moon with Iris.
Oh, nice.
For obvious reasons. It's just a sweet movie. It's so bright and colorful. And she really likes it a lot. Although she now gets concerned when mommy gets sick. Like if I don't feel good, she now says, "Are you going to die?" So
there is that. All right, here's my question. This comes from Apathy Nihilist. Says, going to sing Deja Vu anytime soon?
Wow. Just wow. Did you see that somebody?
I love that question so much.
Well, I did want to answer Barrett's question that he asked. The airspeed of an unladen swallow apparently is about 24 miles per hour.
Yes.
Or 11 meters per second.
What do you think about that, Barrett? Yes, Barrett?
Oh, wait to see what I do tomorrow during the SinCast. No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is pretty. If this is how SinWeek is going to go,
amazing.
This is going to be it. All right, we'll just give him.
I tried to make him full screen and you took him off. So there's that. All right. Do you guys have any other questions that you see that you want to throw up there before we finish out the comment section?
I don't know if we can answer this one, but we can try. This is from RB Goldbot, who says, given that the second live TV Sins just ended, how/when do you decide which shows to live sin? Do you wait until the first episode airs, or do you decide ahead of time? I don't know like how much we can chat about, but there have been so many questions in the chat about the live sinning. I thought we could at least talk about it a little bit.
Okay. It's a valid question. There's obviously a lot that goes into it. We are really excited about those. People seem to be responding to them really well, and we really enjoy doing them. But for the most part, just like with any video we choose, we want to choose something that's in a lot of people's brain space, right? Like we want to be doing fun stuff that you're watching. And so we figure a lot of those Disney Plus shows are heavy in the cultural mindset. So yeah, we just kind of look for that kind of stuff.
And it's possible. I mean, like, you know, we're talking about a lot of different things, but there might be some coming up where maybe we just do the pilot or one episode, you know, right. But, you know, maybe we don't do the whole season, but, you know, I mean, I'm trying to get them to do a Law and Order SVU season. I really am, but, you know, it's not going over well.
Yeah, so. It really is. And
did you guys see the question about what movie would you watch before you died?
Mm-hmm. I did.
No, I didn't.
This one's from Obina.
Yeah.
Who says, if you had to choose, what would be the last movie you watch before you die? Sorry if this seems morbid.
I feel like I mean, the easy answer would be like something happy, right? I don't know. But
what is the longest movie ever made?
Lord of the Rings extended versions.
Because I want to put off the dying part as long as possible.
Oh, you'd watch Singing in the Rain. You'd watch Singing in the Rain.
Yeah, that's an obvious. Yeah, that is the correct answer for me. Yes, that is the correct answer.
I'd probably watch like, I don't know, just I'm trying to think of like, you know, I mean, I don't know at that. Hopefully this is like, you know, 40 years down the road at least, if not more. But I'd probably watch something like, if that's what we were doing, if, you know, I know this is a weird question, but something that my daughter and I, or my wife and I, you know, shared as a family together. I don't know what that would be right now. I mean, I guess right now it'd be like Moana.
Here's the thing, guys. You just never watch a movie again, and then you don't die.
I like it. It's a good answer.
Yeah.
Oh, if that's an option,
I'm just saying, you watch one movie, and then that's it. Yeah. Or you just never watch a movie, and then you don't die. Like if it's like you watch a movie, you die, then just don't watch a movie. Do what I do. This might be a good one to end on. This is from EF, who says, will there be a BTS mini pod for the bonus videos that come out this week?
You know, I don't know. Have we discussed that yet? I mean,
we haven't.
I mean, we'll be doing it. I mean, obviously our next episode will be definitely covering the ones that are, you know, Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah. So we are going to, for those of you guys who are potentially new to Patreon, who joined just for SinWeek 2, make sure you go and look through all of the content that you guys have access to. There's tons of extra content. We actually do, when I first kind of glanced at this, I thought it was a different question, but it works just fine. We do extra podcasts, like little mini podcasts for our patrons every single month on a question that you guys put out for us. So that'll be coming out next week. And then we also give you guys access to your videos early. We do cinementaries every single week. So there's or every single month. So there's lots of extra stuff for those who support on Patreon. And SinWeek is kind of a chance for us to just show you how much content we love putting out. And so thanks everybody for being here. I don't think BTS is going to do a mini pod this SinWeek, but if it's something that you want us to do next SinWeek, you can always send any like thoughts you guys have or ideas that you have. You can send those in to us at our email, and we are happy to listen to your ideas.
Well, I'll tell you this. I definitely want to talk about the Bad Times at the El Royale video that came out today. So I don't know if we'll incorporate some sort of mini conversation in the actual podcast about those 3 videos, or if we will record something separate for the people who actually have access to them, which are the members.
And I can't wait for you guys to see Devil's Advocate, because we've announced them all, right?
Yes, yeah. We've announced all 3 of them. So yeah.
And we depressed Jeremy, by the way.
We're sorry, Jeremy. But I guess Jeremy. So the answer is we're not sure.
What did we do?
But we will do our best. So yeah, I don't think we depressed Jeremy since he was asking what the favorite color of our casket.
Yeah, what would the color of our casket be?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously purple.
Mine will be the fire of the incinerator. I am not getting buried, so yeah.
I want to be entombed in a gemstone.
Ooh,
I don't know.
fun.
I want it to rain, and I want everyone to have a black umbrella.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Let's move on to Beyond the Sins.
To infinity and beyond.
Somewhere beyond my wild history.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
We're going to finish off by talking about something else in the world of pop culture that we've seen recently. Danae, you get to start. What's something else you've checked out recently?
Okay, so I found this new kid show on Netflix called Waffles and Mochi, and I freaking love it, and I want everybody to watch it. It made me laugh so hard. This is, I don't know how else, I'm just going to describe this to you straight. It's going to sound potentially very boring, but what I'm going to miss is the comedic timing, the little nuances that they throw in, and how utterly ridiculous and amazing it is at the same time. I laughed really, really hard, which says a lot about my personality. If you want to see what cracks Danae up, just watch an episode of this, and there you go. So this is a little puppet named Waffles, and he has like this little egg-shaped buddy named Mochi, and they're from the land of frozen food. And one day they travel to the land of fresh food. So this is a show about them visiting the supermarket.
So it's a sequel it's a sequel to Sausage Party.
But for kids. I hope not, because we're still watching all of the season. But essentially, go with me here. They go up to the roof of the supermarket where they have like a live garden, and this puppet from frozen food land is learning about fresh food and how to cook it and how to interact with it and what it means and how to cook like with different ingredients. So first episode's about tomatoes. The second episode's about salt, just kind of putting these things together. And then Mochi travels to all over the world to learn where food comes from and also meets with chefs. So if you're really into cooking shows like Top Chef or something, then they get to go and talk to a chef about, the importance of ingredients or whatever. But it's really, really sweetly done. It's very, adorable level. And Waffles just wants to work at the supermarket. And so at the end of the first episode, he is gifted an apron and a badge that has like a little tomato on it. And he has this adorable like superhero pose that he makes. And it's just amazing. Also, Michelle Obama is on the roof talking to him about the importance of vegetables and stuff.
Nice.
Anyway, it's really freaking adorable. It's cute. And it uses all different mediums for storytelling. So there's puppetry, and then there's miniatures, and then there's obviously puppets with real people, and then there's like these little animations as well. And it's so delightful. I would definitely recommend. It's called Waffles and Mochi, and it's on Netflix.
Nice.
Very cool.
Jonathan, what do you got?
As far as new stuff I've been watching, one of the things I think we're talking about later this week. Although there was this, I was about to tell a joke, but it's not that funny, so never mind. No, I was going to talk about this little 4-hour movie I watched this past week. It's called Lawrence of Arabia. And
right.
Everybody should watch that. Instead of that little independent film that just came out. But anyways, no, I will talk about. I did want to do a couple of callbacks real quick, because not callbacks, but updates, I guess. Because there's a couple of things I recommended over the past few months that I only had watched like a couple episodes of. And I did want to say Clarice was one I talked about. I gave like a slight recommendation on that.
Yeah.
Maybe about a month ago. There's been 2 or 3 episodes since. That one has gone into full recommendation.
Okay.
I am really digging that show. Now, I will say it is straight up a CBS procedural. But it has a really nice cast. They work really well together, and it's doing some interesting things, expounding on the Silence of the Lambs, I guess, story. So I actually do, if you have any interest in that, I recommend that. I also wanted to mention Servant, which I talked about after the second season premiere. Servant. Is that what you're going to talk about?
That's my Beyond the Sins. So, yeah.
Sorry, man.
No, you're good.
All right, we'll talk about that in a second. But I guess I will talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know it's only 1 episode in, but what? Oh, I had a really, really good time with that first episode.
Yeah.
And
yes,
I don't know what's gonna, and it's only gonna be 6 episodes. I don't know what's gonna happen after this, if it's gonna keep it up. But Anthony Mackie and God, who plays the Winter? All of a sudden, I forgot his name. Who plays the Winter Soldier?
Bucky. That's all you need to know.
Winter Soldier Bucky, dude. Hold on, I got you. I'm gonna get there first.
But although I guess I don't know if it's a spoiler, but.
Yeah, Sebastian
Stan. I like both of them. I've enjoyed them. So it's kind of nice seeing them get like a bigger part in something. And I'm really looking forward to actually seeing them together, whatever this adventure is going to be. And, there's obviously, like they did with WandaVision, there's some teases as to what's to come. But I'm really excited to see what Wyatt Russell is going to be bringing to this as I don't know. I guess I don't want to give anything away, but I really enjoyed it. I especially was really impressed by that opening action sequence.
Yeah.
With the Falcon. I don't know. I mean, I get that they have money because obviously it's Disney and this is their service and they're doing whatever they want. But that is one cool thing about these streaming services, right? I think there's a little bit more of a blank check mentality. And I think a lot of the show's still going to be very television oriented, but that felt very, I don't know, cinematic, but it was pretty close to that. I mean, it differentiated itself immediately from WandaVision, showing like this is a different type of show, but it was also like, it was one of the more impressive action sequences I think I've seen in the MCU. Mm-hmm. So there you go. But I was really happy. I was not let down at all by the fact that I was going from WandaVision ending to this starting. It just seems like another fun show, and maybe these Marvel shows are going to be good. I'm sure there's going to be a bad one. I'm sure there is.
Eventually, but I'm with you on this first episode. I was very impressed and excited to see where it goes. So yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I don't know if I've said on the podcast since you recommended it, but I've also fallen in love with Resident Alien. I don't know if I mentioned that. That was one of your recommendations from a while back.
So good.
It is really funny.
Good.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's
What's
really
it
great.
like for you guys to have somebody recommend something to you and then you get to watch it?
It's nice for once, Danae. It's nice to have a friend who listens to recommendations and watches them. Yes.
Yeah, I feel real bad because I do get recommendations from you guys, the fans, on the regular, and I'm always like, oh, it's going to go on the list, and then I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah.
But maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe someday. Yes, I am going to talk about Servant for my Beyond the Sins. Season 2 just finished out, and after season 1 was very down on the show just because the finale let me down. But it was my own fault, I think, because I was expecting it to be a self-contained season 1 story, and it definitely was not that, and I was not ready for that. But after having watched season 2, this show is really kind of great. It's doing some really interesting stuff. I'm not a horror person. I am an M. Night person, and it walks that balance of kind of his mentality on suspense and those kind of things without, for me, going into some of the more grotesque thing that can happen in horror movies. But that doesn't mean it's not dark. It's a very dark show. There's some really dark stuff going on.
And it's twisty.
It's twisty. But I really find it interesting. And his daughter, I think, wrote and directed the season finale this year.
I heard you say, I heard you said that, or you mentioned that on Slack.
Yeah, he had tweeted about it, that he was proud of her and also scared because of how dark and twisted it was. He was like, what if I created?
I've still got a couple episodes. I've still got a couple episodes to watch, but no, I'm digging the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Like I liked the first season, but I was the same as you. The finale let me down a little bit because I just kind of assumed, if anything, it was going to be not anthology, but I just figured that family storyline was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So anyhow,
but it wasn't.
If you've liked some of M. Night's old kind of creepy stuff and you have access to Apple TV Plus, you can check out Servant. Season 2 just finished.
And I keep hearing that everybody seems to point out that like he didn't create this, like he's just put his name on it. But this feels very much like M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know how much he's involved in it, but it has his fingers all over it, it feels like.
Yeah, you can see his fingerprints on it for sure.
Yeah.
Danae, did you have anything you wanted to check back into the show to talk about after, doing spins in your chair while we were talking about horror TV shows?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm glad you're excited. You do it.
As it always is. It always shall be.
I think having an audience right now, I'm okay with just doing what I normally do. This is what I normally do. It's usually actually worse I'm trying to actually like pay attention to chat this time, but usually I'm already like this.
Yeah, I saw you just tweeted that. I saw you just put this is the worst part of the show.
I hate these guys and all their stupid opinions. Yeah, definitely saw that. Yeah. Well, that's going to wrap it up for Behind the Sins this week. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed and go ahead and leave a comment or rating as well. If you've got anything you want to send us, mail it to P.O. Box 881, Republic, Missouri 65738. You can hang out with us on Twitter. I'm at Aaron Dicer. She is at Danae Says.
DENEESAYS.
And he is at Sam Loomis 13. So for Jonathan Watkins, Danae Hughes, Sudden Barrett, and myself, we will see you next week.
Happy Sin Week!
Yay!
Thanks for listening. Send any feedback to bts@cinemasins.com. And be sure to subscribe, rate, and comment. Find more ways to connect by visiting cinemasins.com/BTS.
Check 1, 2. Okay. Got a little energy? Got a little energy?
No.
Danae?
What?
Question. Should we...
No. Glad to help. What's next?
Give you a raise of $1 million a month. Okay. Well, we'll move on from that. It was right in time with the SinWeek music. That was amazing.
I know. I was like, dun, dun,
bop,
dun, dun,
bop,
dun, dun,
bop,
dun, dun,
burp.
It's got to be a software thing where?
I don't know.
In your butt.
Is that where software hides?
Hey, listen, I'm here to try to break up this awkward tension of technical difficulties.
Technology tension. We'll just go with it. In fact, you just got a lot clearer.
Yeah, let's go. Let's run. Let's do this. Come on, we gotta record a Boney Pod.
We'll just cross our fingers and
We've gotta record a Boney Pod.
I gotta take my meds.
That's so cool.
What kind of meds? Is it marijuana?
Meds or Joanna, you mean?
I'm not telling people what I'm prescribed to.
Hey, how about this?
No, Danae, stop playing with your camera.
Let's go.
You could like do yoga while you're talking to us.
I could, actually. But that's going to be another level of Patreon support.
I'm sorry, what's going to be another level? I had my headphones out.
I was just saying, like, her headphone stretches so far, like, she could do yoga, or she could, like, I don't know, like, you know, do tricks with her dog.
And I said that was another level of Patreon support.
Yeah, I get that now. All
right, good show, guys. Vision is dead. Let's go.
Shit. Oh, my God. Did you see Barrett's comment?
Well, Barrett.
It's like last year all over
Barrett,
again.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
What, Danae? Go ahead.
Do we clarify for new listeners what that means?
Sure, go ahead. Yes, Danae, go ahead. That is a SinWeek staple, but yes, Danae, go ahead, clarify for anybody who may not understand why Barrett needs to see HR.
I don't know if Barrett, I think that was just Barrett randomly saying something. He might not remember.
No, Barrett super remembers.
That's right. He did the same thing twice. Mm-hmm.
I more wanted to clarify. So Barrett's comment is, wait, you can fuck on this show. And Aaron's response is, yes. Let's clarify what that means.
Oh, good point.
We do cuss on this show. That's all it means. But it comes from a place where last year's SinWeek, when Barrett started talking, he was trying to say, can we say fuck? But he just says, can we fuck? And it just turned into a lot of laughter.
Yes.
And a great inside joke.
As it should.
We should.
I also believe I remember Chris saying that's the $100,000 a month. That's the $1,000 a month Patreon level, I believe, is what Chris said after that, which was very funny.
Yes.
We still have no supporter at that level, just for the record.
I did the whole rendition of Good Morning from Oklahoma for Aaron one time. Never.
Oh, didn't make it.
I absolutely did not do that. But isn't that Oklahoma where it's like, good morning? Good morning.
Now he's trolling me.
It's great to stay up late. Good morning.
Now okay, Jonathan is trolling me hardcore, and I'm not falling for it. That's bait.
Why?
That's bait, buddy.
No, that was a genuine question. I was making sure I didn't say the
rain.
Oh, it is singing in the rain.
I didn't know.